will you marry me? Are they expecting that? No. So when a brother approaches a sister, the sister can give 3 responses. Number 1 is not yet, which is wait. Not yet means, okay, please wait. I want to pray about it. I need to seek the face of God. Sometimes the sister would have received the brother, like God would have told her about the brother, but the sister would just be like, okay, I still need to inform some other people. I still need to inform my church, inform my parents and all that. So wait, not yet. Number 2 is the sister can say yes.
Okay.
Do you understand? Yes. And number 3 is no. That no. This man is married. But you believe he takes care of, he spends money on you. But the man is married, say no. This person is an unbeliever. It's a no at that point. Because at that time he's not yet a believer. So you don't say, oh, let me say yes, but he's very nice. The nice man, the beauty can become the beast.
Exactly. Sorry, but we want to go for break for now. So maybe when we come back, we will continue from where we stop. Which is number 1 is not yet, number 2 is yes, number 3 is no. And we are about explaining.
So that's no. It was what you said about can't you work together unless they agree.
Okay.
So when it's a no, it's a no. And when you're saying your no, because either the person is married, the person is an unbeliever, you say no. And you don't joke with that no. When you're saying no, you're very firm with that no. You're not saying no, and your body language is saying yes.
Okay.
So when sisters say no, it's because they are remembering that person that says, can't you walk together except they agree.
Because someone can be saying no and the expression or the attitude can be saying.
That's another thing. Before wedding, you need to work on your emotions. Fine, because they are thinking the person is nice. I was talking about that the beauty can become the beast. The person you're seeing to be nice today can turn out to be something else. Maybe it's the person, because many times the will of God will not really be acceptable to you. Go and ask many people. It's not always that the person they're actually longing to have, like the standard they have already carved for themselves, is the person they are getting married to. So for a will of God, you need to really make yourself to accept it. To accept
Make
it.
yourself to accept the will of God.
The will of God. You need to obey God to accept that person. But because many times the person may not dress the way you want, or you feel the person is not praying enough, or you feel the person is not holy,
or he's not up to your standard,
or not that tall, not that short,
not have
not
six-pack,
so because of that, you may not want to accept the will of God. And the person that is not the will of God is the person that is appealing to you. Because you feel like, wow, he gives a lot. He calls a lot.
He knows how
he's
to
very
play,
doting,
can joke,
and all that.
Like that. So you must work out yourself to accept
the will of God.
The will of God. The will of God. Thank you so much. And then I don't know, maybe you have something to say about the places we can visit while dating. Before marriage, you can decide to, sometimes you can, like when my husband was still in courtship. Can't we go to church together? Can't we go to maybe?
You can go to programs together. Like then, we had a camp. There's a big church in Nigeria. They have a camp, and then we go to that camp. They have a program for youth every December then. So when I was in school, I got to know about the fellowship. It was actually my fellowship, the church that owns the fellowship. So by the time I met my husband, I told him about the program, and we were going every year. We don't stay in the same room. We have, quarters before the wedding. It's like a retreat. So we go, I stay somewhere, the men, they stay somewhere. We listen. Sometimes we get to listen to different messages, maybe meant for brothers, meant for sisters, and sometimes some ministers will come and they want everybody together, but we're listening to the same thing. Because even so that even when you're thinking of, oh, I want to, okay, let me do this, you still remember the things you have heard and be able to say, no, we shouldn't do this.
Yeah, you can say, during our courtship, we listen to this sermon.
So we listen to this sermon, and sometimes you'll be surprised that the same thing you are receiving from God is the same thing he's also receiving from God. And by the time you're coming together, because then in the camp you have time, maybe in the kitchen you meet, or somewhere you meet, or you want to pray together, by the time you're opening your jotter, your notes to say, see what God told me, you'll be amazed that the same thing God has told him. So you can go to programs together. You can go to programs, you can, so many things without sinning, without going into sin. And that's another thing I want to say before I go today, that many times, even when God says yes, when God has said, this is my will for you, God has told her, this is my will for you, it doesn't mean that the devil will still not want to strike. It doesn't mean that because you are a child of God, she's a child of God, sin will not want to, devil will not want you to go into sexual immorality at that time. So so after it has happened, many people will say, God, why did you give me this sister? Actually, God didn't mean that both of you should go into sin. Do you understand? It was just because you were not careful enough that you were able to fall into the sin. So do not make God to be blamed. Do not blame God for
you don't blame God for your own act.
That was what happened to Adam and Eve. For Adam to have opened his mouth to say, it was the woman you gave me. What was he trying to say?
It was a mistake.
Yes. So now some other people too, because they started fornicating and all that, and they get broken down, and they will say, God, where did I even see this sister? Actually, the sister was meant to be your wife, but because you were not careful enough.